Yes. The major areas of government enforcement activity that contain both criminal punishment, yes, and civil monetary penalties include antitrust, or unfair competition violations, government fraud, environmental or pollution regulations, yes, racketeering or criminal enterprise violations. All of these statutes provide for the imposition of civil monetary penalties in addition to potential criminal sanctions. Ooh. Now I say completed and sign here. This government fraud of believing that they can have an insurrection, ooh, ooh, it's fraudulent to violate the requirements of the law. Now, antitrust or unfair competition. It seemed that somebody wanted to say that we can control them, inclusive of every citizen of the United States. And we're going to go the senior way of doing things, and I'm going to decide what happens to you. For my uncle, my aunt, my mother, and any relatives that said, well, we'll just keep paying for the shows and then we'll keep causing Paul to suffer so that he can't get any antibiotics. Yes, so he won't have any rental assistance. Oh. There's the fraud of issuing court orders where judges are personally liable, yes, for their knowledge of violating the supremacy of the United States Constitution. And then we're going to keep paying and aiding those that are in insurrection and rebellion, yes, against the enforcement of the laws of the United States. Now, these antitrust or unfair competition violations, yesterday I talked to you about the individual businesses. Yes. Well, when we look at the actual C corporations, those would be the big businesses that don't happen to be the local businesses. Yes, yes, yes. Those that have subsidiaries, the parent companies, yes, that might not be in Clallam County, but I know it is unfair, yes, as a competition to sow into your customers to remind them that they need to go shopping. Yes. They need to get a cup of coffee. Now, this technology that you said that you had to use to make sure that you could continue to be profitable as a C corporation, I think it does include penalties for antitrust violations and unfair competition violations. And as much as you said I can't see broadband, yes, I can't see electricity. I can't see sonar, Coast Guard. I can't see radio frequencies. Yes, that it's all a figment of my imagination. You're the fucking phony. What if I had the capability, yes, to prove in evidence everything that I've said in these videos? Because your top secret family decided to be insurrectionists, yes, and rebellion participants of the rebellion, yes, because you're going to keep coming the money. I want you to know something. I'm not going to participate in your family's way of doing things. It happens to be a rebellion against the Constitution. I'm not going to fuck my way in, Pooch. I'm not going to read the shit of anybody. Yeah. I'm not putting a lizard in my ass. I'm not going to be reading the piss, okay? You're not going to be putting the electric grid through me or any other citizen of the United States. It's just another form of insurrection and rebellion against the freedoms of the United States consumer. Now, this whole idea, yes, that government fraud is permissible, yes. Well, this happens to be a fraud against the United States government. Every oath of office that happens to be an employee of the government, yes, that has knowledge of the fraud of issuing court orders that violate the supremacy of the Constitution, yeah, I can sue every fucking one of them. And for all those mandatory reporters, yes, that said, of course we know the fraud. We can't be held liable. You can. Now, why don't you get me all the emergency rooms in every hospital? When I went to the free clinic, I said, well, if they weren't there, I would have went to the emergency room. Yes, because I have pneumonia. As good as I look, I still have the pneumonia. And I'm thinking that I'm going to sue every emergency room doctor at Goldfinger. Do you fucking understand right now? See, there is this insurrectionist and rebellionist way of thinking that if you could cause me to have such terrible, yes, pneumonia, you'd just take my brains because you'd sew in a clone on me? Oh, choo choo. So why don't you get me all the emergency room and all the emergency room staff in every hospital in the United States and their knowledge of the fraud of the insurrection or rebellion against the idea, yes, that American citizens do not have dog lookalikes. We don't come the money. No, we don't. Now, I'm going to go through the actual employees of every hospital of the jurisdiction of the United States of America. And then all the other hospitals in every nation of the world? Yes. Get me their internet, their portals? Yes. Their IP address, their radio signals? Well, let's just call the International Cybercrime Convention to go through the actual internet right now. Yeah, look at that. We're not going to take the brains of American citizens anymore. We're not going to put the gum on them. We're not going to make lookalikes of employees. We're not going to use androids. And as an American citizen, I find out about any fraud of the United States government and your use of anything other than just the citizens as persons, as employees. I will sue every fucking hospital.